There's a matinee on Saturday as well at 2:30 p.m.
And we got the great pleasure of talking to Ian Good.
We have indeed, yes, because the show that follows Copacabana is Sister Act.
Yes, but funny enough, sorry, hello.
Hello.
But the woman who played the original lead in that was also one of my ex-students, the lovely Carla. So she came straight out of drama school and straight into Copacabana. That was her first ever job in the West End.
Really?
Wow.
Indeed.
Wow.
That was wonderful. Have we sorted that out then?
That's a nice link, isn't it?
Yeah. That's brilliant.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah. So, Sister Act then, Ian, how did you get involved with this? And
Well, I only ever work with one amateur company in the whole country, and that's Portsmouth Players. Because I direct professionally all over the place. Yeah. And 10 years ago, you see, it's a long story, sorry, 10 years ago, they asked me to come and do a Sondheim, because Stephen Sondheim's my favourite, and I did Into the Woods then, and after that they sort of offered me various shows over the years. And the latest one, and my last one at Portsmouth Players, I'm afraid, is Sister Act, which I really wanted to do, because funny enough, I went to see the opening night in the West End, because I was working for the same company that was producing the show I was working on, which was Hairspray. So that's my connection with it, and I had a chance to direct it, and I said, yes, please.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I'd like to know a little bit about my guests. And I know Mike's I'm going to put you right on the spot now. So how did it all start for you then, Ian, the directorship and in the theatres? What was...
Well, I trained as a director, first of all, and then I realised I wasn't very good at it because I didn't really know what was going on with actors, because I think actors are a very special breed of people. So what I did is when I was in Ipswich, which I was an associate director there for a while, they ran out of money, and they said, would you like to be in the Christmas show? So I was in the Christmas show, and then sort of an acting career took off from there, about 20 years of it, and then I started doing a bit more directing and a bit more acting, and then now really I only perform once a year and I direct the rest of the time. So that's how it came about, because I realised after I had a bit of experience of other directors, I realised what was working for them and everything I was being taught, and I thought, oh yes, I understand what that is now. And I started directing, and I just think it made me a better, I'm not saying I'm the best director in the world, but it made me a better director.
Oh, right. And because I'm sure actors are a sort of finicky lot, aren't they? Really?
Excuse me.
I think the trouble is with actors, you see, is I don't think they are. I think a lot of directors don't like actors, where I just love them.
That's good.
I love every second of them, in the sense that, you've got to find the way of getting the best out of them, and I think a lot of them don't realise that I get a real joy about sitting there and somebody... For example, on Sunday, we've got a girl called Beth who's playing one of the sisters in Sister Act. And she's been worried about this song for ages and ages and ages. And then suddenly, on Sunday, she got there, and the whole room applauded her in the end. And I just thought, that's what it's about, you see.
It's those magical moments, isn't it?
Well, because she was brilliant. She was absolutely... she's going to be brilliant, And the thing is, she's worried about it. She wouldn't hit the note. She didn't do it. Her hands were stiff. And then all of a sudden... it all came together, and I just think maybe I had a little bit to do with that, and that's the joy of it. That's what I really, really enjoy. And I sit in the auditorium thinking, they're fantastic, they're brilliant. And I think a lot of directors don't do that. They sort of sit there going, oh no, I don't like that light there, and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've worked with a few of those.
I think the way you're talking there, Ian, that it's a gift that you have to handle people, or actors.
I wouldn't go as far as that. I think it's like any job. You know what I mean? You get better as you go. I'm very old now, so the thing is, I've sort of got better at it as I've gone on. But I've learned that with actors, they either like you or they hate you. There's no mid ground. And the thing is, what you've got to do is just give them as much as you can, and not worry about what they think about you. And that's the problem, that's the difficulty. And I think Portsmouth Players found that quite difficult when I came down, because I worked in a very different way from the directors they'd had before. But they've just embraced it, and they've gone on, they've done little in-house seasons in the rehearsal room, big ones, at the King's, which is a beautiful theatre to do, but sometimes it's not applicable for certain shows. But they haven't been scared of them, and that's why I love them, really. I really, really love them as a group. And it's funny, I mentioned this on Sunday, this group, we've got about 7 or 8 principal performers, Portsmouth players who played principal roles in the show, and there they are just being nuns. Or being, a little bit part. And I just love that. I think that's what it's all about. It should be that everybody does everything. And that's the great thing about Portsmouth players.
Are you involved in anything else? Is there anything else that Mike wants to ask?
At the moment, oh dear. How long have you got? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Sister Act on the go at the moment, and I've just finished a couple of other things in London. One called the London Review, which was at the New Park Theatre in Finsbury Park.
The new venue.
Yeah, it was fabulous. A lovely little theatre, and that was a brand new review, basically, of music of a guy called James Mikolos, who I've known for years, but I've never worked with him. And he'd written a whole set of songs about London. So we put them together and called it the London Review, and some quotes in and some phrases about. So it was an evening there, because I really wanted to look at the Park Theatre, because it's a really good venue to do. So I directed that. I'm working at Arts Educational Schools in London, which is with I'm teaching Stanislavski with the first years, because I enjoy working with students. And what's lovely about it is then I take them out and employ them, which is all about it.
Oh right, yeah. Then I'm going to pig of the bunch.
Oh well, not quite.
Not quite that.
No, well, but it's nice to work with them, because like last year I did a pantomime, and I was in it as well as directing it. And what was fabulous is being on stage with 6 people you taught, and you just think, oh my God, this is a bit strange, but it was lovely. Anyway, so I've got that. Then I'm doing a Gilbert and Sullivan at Arts Educationals. Then, this is the zhuzhy bit, really. Then
are you back in Panto this year?
I am. I'm at the Malvern Festival Theatre this year doing Aladdin.
So are you giving us your Widow Twankey?
I am Widow Twankey this year with Robert Powell, remember Jesus of Nazareth?
Those blue eyes.
As Abenazer, and he's a lovely man, and a couple of people off Kids Telly, all of that. And then next year, I'm going abroad for 3 months to direct over there, but I'm not going to say where it is, because it'll just, but I'm going to Australia, let's put it that way.
Oh, wow.
To direct a show over there. So, there's a lot going on.
If you want a roadie...
Listen, I've had 6 people offering to get me suitcase.
Right, well, it's great to talk to you, Ian. I know Mike's going to talk to you now, and you can mention when it's on and everything else.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those people out there that have maybe been living under a rock for God knows how many years and haven't seen the original film with Whoopi Goldberg, can you give us an idea of the storyline of Sister Act?
Okay, it's all about a woman called Dolores. Dolores is I wouldn't say a second-rate singer, but not at the top of her game, and singing in a hotel in Las Vegas. And she decides she wants more, and she just happens to be having a bit of an affair with the owner of this place, who walks out on her. She goes out and follows him, and she sees a shooting in an alleyway. And the rest of the story is all about these people. Curtis, who's trying to find Dolores, and the only place they can hide Dolores for safety is in a convent. And it's how she goes into this convent and changes their life completely and turns it upside down. And it's a fantastic score. It's not the movie, the songs from the movie. They're written by Alan Menken, and for those who don't know it, he's the guy who wrote Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast,
Little Shop of Horrors,
all of those.
Newsies.
And Glenn Slater, who wrote all the lyrics for the next one from Phantom of the Opera, which was Love Never Dies, which ran in town for 2 years. And it was nominated for 5 Olivier Awards and 5 Tony Awards. So it's a good musical, and it's been translated into 16 countries, so it's not doing too badly.
That's brilliant, yeah.
And it's wonderful, and it's the first time it's been in Portsmouth. The set is stunning. It's the costumes, every single nun, and we've got a lot of nuns. They all have 5 costumes each. So there's a lot going on there. And if you think it opens on the 14th of February and runs till the Saturday, 2 shows on the Saturday. But they've worked really hard. The women, our nuns, are absolutely fabulous, and they range from I think the youngest is 19, right away up to early 80s. And they really, really, really work hard, because basically the stories about nuns are hardly ever off. and they work hard. It's all about the women, and they get the second last bow, so that's how important they are. Because usually, you get the boys, then the girls, then you get bit parts and all that, but this time I've made sure the nuns get, it's them, then Curtis, then Dolores.
As it should be.
Of course.
Yeah. And I was very lucky to catch a little clip of footage of rehearsals, and it's sounding fantastic.
Yeah, and that's been brilliant. I've got a wonderful old lady called Sarah Louise Day, who has done quite a lot of shows with me, as well as a lot of pantos, and she did Sweet Charity.
Oh, of course, yes, she put me through my paces.
Exactly. And she's wonderful. She's absolutely fantastic, and she's done all the choreography. I do all the musical staging and all the direction and stuff like that, so we work as a team, really. We did the summer school for all the amateur groups this year as well, and they were all taken a bit by storm because they didn't know what had hit them. But, so we've done quite a lot together.
Right. Well, I for one will be there on at midnight.
Oh, so, good. 14th. Well, I'm there on the 14th.
Okay.
I'm not there on the last night because I've got to fly to Cornwall. So it's awful, really.
Oh.
Sad.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you, Ian. By the way, you said you're getting on in years, but I've got a picture of you in front of me.
Yeah. Is it a colour one?
Well, you're younger than me.
Is it a colour one or a black and white one?
It's black and white, actually.
Oh, well, that's it.
Was that 30 years ago?
No. It's about 4 years ago. 4 years ago,
good.
that one. Yeah, the colour one looks a bit more wrinkled. I think colour does that for you.
Yeah, you got away with the black and white photo. I had to go with the colour one in that programme.
Ah, there you go. Well, it's the new ones in the new programme, so there you go.
Yeah.
And all of that. So, but yeah, come along and see Portsmouth Players. I really like them as a society, and like all amateur societies now, they're going through a change. They're trying new material. They're looking at new things. Roger Hammerstein's fabulous. I love it, and I've directed about 3 for Portsmouth Players. But some new material needed, some new audience coming in. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I know we can't go into any detail, but there's some really exciting stuff coming up for the players.
There is.
Come and support them.
Exactly.
That's good. Because Mike's part of them as well.
He is. Yeah. I know. I've directed Mike in a couple of things, so just be warned. He'll tell you what a horrible person I am.
It's fabulous. He's got me doing things I never thought I'd be able to do.
That's
on stage as well.
Yep, and after 30 years, that's saying something.
Oh. Well, I can beat you by 9 years on that, I'm afraid. So, See, I remember Mike when he had hair.
Oh, that is going back a long time.
Okay.
Well, it's been lovely to talk to you.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Come along and see it, and thanks for getting me on. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Speak to your fair.
Okay.
Hold on there a moment. Thank you very much, Ian. Good.
No problem.
Mike and I are going to talk about this next track that I'm going to play after we've heard it. Here we go.
Alfie, now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project.
You really don't have to do that.
I know.